getting any Incineroar, we're getting into Greninja versus Game & Watch, a matchup that pretty weird if you think about it. I mean, this is one of those matchups where you don't really see it all too often, but in SoCal can definitely happen more times than not. Yeah, you're seeing El Jefe start off pretty strong here with these Nairs. You know, Chowder's going to be looking to get a lot of this grounded game going here, but on a smaller stage like small battlefield, you have very consistent ways to just cover so much space with Nair. It makes it so that a lot of the dash back game that you develop as Greninja can get stuffed out by Nair, and that's really, really rough. And as you get into center stages, Game & Watch, you start getting into full hop fairs, but you see Chowder, I mean, so snappy as a player, is able to just know when to mode switch so well, playing you know, switching between evasiveness and then bursting in and doing a lot of damage. And I think that's something that Chowder is like continuing to do in his explosive combo game. Great juggle and great punish on the down air. We just saw the clip resurface of Mia and Meister down airing disjointed up airs. You don't think like that can be something that you have to worry about as Game & Watch versus Greninja, but counter is there.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of Chowder, he's really been like upping his game, and I think he's trying to make a statement this season as one of the like definitive Greninjas in SoCal, if not just like in general.
The Greninja, yeah. I mean, you know, Ripka was in the region for a while. I know I'm missing a couple Greninja players, but I think Chowder definitely finding himself into a comfortable spot here.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, he's really stepped up his game. And last time El Jefe was here, he pretty much dismantled a lot of the bracket coming into it. I know we're in the next semifinal match. Just like FrostBurn, I believe it was 0-2. He took down Nitro with a little degenerate Lilat and Game & Watch cheese, but that's okay.
Yeah.
He is somebody who has been able to pilot Game & Watch pretty proficiently at that. But just as I say that, he's going into his last stock in Game 1 here.
Yeah, Chowder punishing the ledge trap, and that's something that you have to be careful about versus character like Greninja, is when and how you're putting out your hitboxes when you have Chowder in disadvantage, whether that be at the ledge or landing. You can definitely get punished for a lot of these things because Greninja is one of those characters that can put out these hitboxes that are really good at whiff punishing because of how fast Greninja can be. That's exactly what Chowder is there. You mess up your ledge trap, you get hit with an air up smash. And now you're seeing Chowder just building this extra credit, 51% on Game & Watch, one of the lighter characters, and versus a character like Greninja can definitely get true confirmed into kill options that just kill really, really early. So as your El Jefe here, you have to be very careful in the corner and just playing this ledge game. Forward air connects for Chowder, though, as we continue the rinse and repeat on the ledge. Has to get off of it eventually, but can't quite yet. And the down air beating out the extended hurt box of that back air. No 9 hammer as El Jefe burns it off stage.
Yeah, both these characters light as can be, but definitely already at like that 70% mark. He's at that kill confirm percent for
Gary.
Yeah, definitely scary option.
Nice.
Both of them make it on stage. Chowder is not one to panic in those situations of getting watching this make it back from anywhere. As I say that, forward smash off that get up option Nair with punish.
I mean, both of the first stocks for Chowder came on the back of El Jefe. For one, not respecting the juggle game that Greninja has, gets hit with double up air instead of just, you know, trying to play that up B or air dodge or use your air drift to be tricky. He goes for the immediate down air, gets punished with a counter, and then second stock, he tries to throw out a laggy move on the ledge, just try to catch Chowder in a timing mix-up, instead gets hit with a Nair into up smash, and that's something that you have to be very cognizant of versus Chowder. You know, as much as Chowder plays like so many characters, he's able to kind of bring all of those experiences into the Greninja, and that's what makes it so tricky. A character that's like people described as like being counter meta and a lot of other things like that. So you have to be very, very careful versus a player like Chowder who has so much experience.
Oh yeah, no. The kind of recognition to how other players, like with his repertoire of being proficient at many other characters, his ability to kind of like understand the game plan of most other characters has really helped him elevate his game.
Yeah, this is all really great damage for Chowder, and gets 74% on that forward air connecting too. You have to be careful as El Jefe. You really have to respect the extra damage that Chowder can rack on. But speaking of respect, that Nair, a little bit too
disrespectful.
A little bit too much, I think, on the side of Chowder. Just, you know, sometimes you start feeling yourself too much, and then you try to contest the uncontestable up smash. Nice forward air to push the high up. Yeah, I really like Chowder's. I like Chowder's fair placement so far.
Yeah, he's always ready for these kind of like up B out of like disadvantages coming out of Game & Watch.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very solid stuff so far. there. Forward air covers the air dodge for El Jefe, as we now have a really strong ledge trap. It goes for a back air there to cover the roll, doesn't find it. El Jefe usually really on top of these ledge traps, and this is really unfortunate because if you mess up your ledge traps and you get crossed up in any way, Chowder can just burst in with a dash attack or a run up down tilt and do so much damage.
Yeah, no, he is missing a lot of percent and a lot of opportunity here on these ledge trapping options. Just whiffing on that up smash, but he is missing a lot of opportunity here to kind of even just take a stock from keeping him on ledge and racking up a lot of percent. It's just not happening. He's dropping his ledge trapping options.
Yeah, that's kind of the difference between you know, Chowder's ledge trap philosophy, because you're seeing El Jefe playing very forward, as most Game & Watches do at the ledge because of that threat of up being if you get too close to them. Whereas Chowder is actually using center stage really wisely to kind of position yourself so you can throw out water shurikens to cover the attempts to land back on stage and catch landings. Nice coverage there on the down tilt. Great air dodge bait. But you're also able to kind of burst in that range. And he's doing a lot of like double swinging, where he's swinging once, and even though it's whiffing or missing a timing, he's going for another safe move and just running back immediately. And it's sometimes catching El Jefe here.
Right, and Greninja always known for
dash attack.
He's bold for trying to contest that. But Greninja definitely a whiff punish character, and yeah, that's gonna take it. Absolutely gonna take it. 2 stock coming out for game 2 from Chowder.
Really solid game plan so far from Chowder. Just playing really shifty. The whiff punishing is what I've been talking about, being so consistent for Chowder. And that's so important, especially versus Game & Watch, a character that's more than often able to get away with whiffing or throwing out moves into disadvantage.
Yeah, basically everything.
Greninja can place himself basically anywhere to punish it. So good stuff from Chowder. You want to see El Jefe here kind of tighten up these not only when he's in disadvantage, of course, but also when he has Chowder in disadvantage. I mean, dropping a lot of percent or going for like these more difficult to execute options.
Right.
Versus a character and a player like Chowder, it becomes really like, it skews the risk reward in a way that I don't think is like that favorable. But as I say that, El Jefe playing solidly here with this reversal and gets a back here to land back on stage. You know, it's never too late to force your opponent to respect your ledge trapping here.
Right.
Nice up smash coverage.
Oh, it kills! What was that, like 80, sub 80% almost?
Yeah, 95 after. That does so much
hit.
damage too.
Yeah, wow. I want to say that it seems like El Jefe is definitely kind of falling back on just kind of Game & Watch things, you know what I mean? The safe, uppy, and aggressive options off of ledge. And Chowder's just not falling for it. He is absolutely ready for any option that El Jefe has to throw out. And if he doesn't adjust soon, this might be already done and dusted.
Like a situation like there for El Jefe, instead of going back to the stage and attempting a chance at being able to keep Chowder off stage, he goes for more damage, he goes for more extension, and it causes him to take all this damage, and it slowly snowballs into Chowder getting another stock on the small battlefield platforms. I don't know how much stages are coming to effect here, but it's also just these small decisions where it's like, you could go for a little bit of percent, or instead you can position. You got to trust yourself to hold center stage sometimes.
No, definitely. These aggressive options have just not been playing into El Jefe's favor, especially with Chowder's Greninja just perfectly dash dancing out of the threat bubble of Game & Watch and ready to punish any option he has.
This is so much. I like this so much more already for El Jefe. Instead of going for a reversal, just staying back on stage and saying, now it's my turn to ledge trap. My turn. I'm equally as good at finding stocks. That's why I made it this far in the bracket in the first place. You have to believe in your ability to punish your opponents for bad positioning. You can't always go for reversals, and that's exactly what he does, and it's what nets him a stock.
Yeah, and it might be a little too late, but he does seem to be doing a little bit of a shift here, you know, keeping center stage and making sure that he has the positioning to keep Chowder on the ledge.
They're playing smart here, just up being immediately going back, resetting the situation. Although you are disadvantageous at the super long range because of Water Shuriken, just be solid and allow yourself to give yourself a shot.
Yeah, no, definitely. Ooh, just barely. I think
down tilt from Chowder.
Yeah, I think his hurtbox shift just caused him to avoid that up smash coming out of Game & Watch.
Nice, is able to get the up out, and Chowder goes for a downer on shield. No punish. The up smash, a good option of trying to punish, like Chowder trying to follow up on that, but the up smash comes through. The sword beats the key, and that's going to be Chowder taking a 3-0 over Jefe. I mean, that situation just one of those rough ones. But yeah, I really like the way that Chowder played with Greninja so far, playing a really solid positioning game, as well as just having really solid juggling and knowing when to go for that 1 or 2 extra hits is something that a lot of Greninja players lack. That leaves a lot of damage on the table. Chowder's doing it. Some would say it's mashing. I don't think it's mashing. I think it's just like smart hitbox placement and understanding, hey, I can continue to throw out hitboxes here.
No, absolutely. I will say, giving El Jefe some credit there, that kind of last stock and a half, there was definitely a shift in the kind of game we were seeing where it was kind of the Chowder show for most of that set until he started like recognizing that his positioning was more important in the grand scheme of things, where he was netting himself a lot of stock, a lot of ground for just like having a good position on stage. And like you said, trusting himself to net those stocks.
Yeah, I mean, it's especially like I play Jigglypuff, and the character is really good at edge guarding and gimping, obviously. But sometimes I think when you're able to edge guard, specifically in Smash Ultimate, sometimes players get into this mood where they, instead of like allowing themselves to trust themselves to go to neutral, will just jump on every opportunity possible to take a stock or like go for a gimp or reversal and get a kill. And that's something that can definitely come back to haunt you. You have to. I've been saying this a lot, but allow yourself to make a play and allow yourself to be solid. A lot of times, that's a common chess turn of like being solid, like getting your pieces developed, and it's very similar to like in Smash when your center stage. That's kind of your development, and I think El Jefe in that last stock, like I was saying, instead of going for like a nair that costed him a stock, where he tries to reversal Chowder for going a little bit too far off stage, he sat on stage, held center stage, and led the ledge trap